Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal 132 based on novel. So let's start. During these past 10 years, Wang Lin had questioned Yaro Shishue many times inside the tower. Yaro Shishue's hatred for Wang Lin had already been buried deep in her heart. At the same time, she was completely terrified of Wang Lin's methods. Wang Lin had managed to open a hole in her mind, and that hole was opened when she told Wang Lin how to use the Blood Soul pill. Once this opening appeared, Yaro Shishue almost collapsed under Wang Lin's methods. Although she hadn't told him everything, she had more or less spilled some secret. You said that the cave was left by a celestial emperor and that there are a total of 4 caves. How did you find out about all of this? Yaro Shishue bit her lower lip. She was still not willing to answer this question. Wang Lin's eyes faintly lit up and he slowly said, "You have already been in my hands for more than 20 years. Could it be that you don't want your freedom? If you tell me everything, I promise to release you after I leave the demon spirit land." His voice contained some devilish energy. This was a small spell he learned from the scattered devil after spending 10 years engraving his imprint on it. Yaro Shishue softly sighed and whispered, "I can tell you everything, but you must swear on your Dao heart that you will let me go once you leave the demon spirit land. You don't have the qualifications to demand conditions from me. I'll naturally do what I promise. Speak, you have only one chance. If you don't speak, I'll seal you forever." Wang Lin's voice was calm, but it gave off a cold intent. Yaro Shishue played with her hair as she looked at Wang Lin. After a long time, she whispered, "My father warned me to not fight against you. I was very puzzled and didn't know why my father would know you. Back then you were merely a little cultivator, even if you were the All-Seer's disciple. With my understanding of my father, your status, your cultivation, everything about you was not worthy of my father's attention. That is why I didn't listen to him. Now I somewhat understand why father talked about you." Wang Lin's expression was calm as he coldly looked at her. Yaro Shishue let out a sigh and said, "It was my father who told me that there is a total of 4 caves here. Back then, when father, Ling Tianhu, the All-Seer, and company came to the demon spirit land, they found a secret." Wang Lin's eyes narrowed and he calmly asked, "What secret?" "This demon spirit land is, in fact, a cave. I believe you have also guessed this already. I can tell you that this demon spirit land is a cave and that this cave is very big. It is big beyond imagination, but there isn't just one. There are a total of 5 caves. 4 fakes and 1 real." Wang Lin's expression was still the same as he slowly said, "I presume the one you took me to was a fake cave." Yaro Shishue bitterly nodded and said, "Yes, that was indeed a fake cave." Wang Lin asked, "What was your purpose for going there?" "Father once said that the fake cave contains a lot of treasures, spirit liquid, and other things. If I could obtain them, they would help my cultivation greatly." Yaro Shishue's voice was soft, but before she could finish speaking, she saw the sneer on Wang Lin's face. Wang Lin calmly looked at Yaro Shishue. He didn't speak, but his eyes made her heart tremble. After a long time, she bitterly said, "Everything I've said is true. You don't need to use it as an excuse to not free me in the future." Wang Lin's tone was grim as he said, "A good way of telling the truth. What you said perhaps is indeed what you believe in your heart, but that is not what I ask. What relation do the 4 fake caves have to the real one?" Yaro Shishue pondered once more, then she let out a sigh and said, "Forget it. In truth, those 4 fake caves are in fact the gates to the real cave." Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. "The secret your father and them found can't be this simple. I only know that father guessed that there are opportunities to help one to step into the 3rd step inside that cave. Because that cave belonged to the number 1 celestial emperor, Qing Lin, before the celestial realm collapse. Celestial Emperor Qing Lin was the strongest person in the celestial realm. Rumor has it that when the celestial realm collapsed, Celestial Emperor Qing Lin didn't die. After he fought, he escaped with injuries. The secret my father and them found is that the aura of Celestial Emperor Qing Lin is in closed-door cultivation inside the final cave. I don't know how they found out, so there is no need to ask me about it." After she finished speaking, she looked at Wang Lin. When she first heard of this, Her shock was almost unimaginable. Even recalling the matter now caused her heart to tremble endlessly. With Wang Lin's mental strength, she wanted to see what kind of expression he would have when he heard this explosive piece of news. Unfortunately, all she saw was the same unchanging expression. Wang Lin's expression didn't change in the slightest, but his pupils shrank an unnoticeable amount. These words started a storm inside Wang Lin's heart. He believed 70% of what Yarrow Shishua said. It was not about how beautifully she said it all, but because she said the two words Qing Lin. Wang Lin could never forget what he saw when he first went into the cave with Yarrow Shishua. He had stacked the life seals together to hear the voice coming from the void. I am Qing Lin. What kind of cave is this? It has ancient demons and a scattered devil. The ancient demon was split into 9 parts by someone and thus can't fuse back together. I don't know much about the scattered devils, but from what it said, it was a devil under an ancient devil. Could this demon spirit land also have an ancient devil? The more information Wang Lin came upon, the more he felt like there was a layer of fog before him that he couldn't rip open. He quietly looked at Yarrow Shishua and said, how were the 4 fake caves distributed between them back then? The All-Seer and Ling Tianhus each took a cave. The other cave was taken by the Cloud Celestial couple. Back then my father's cultivation level wasn't high enough to fight with the 4 of them for the fake caves. However, his luck was good, so he was able to find the existence of this cave. In fact, besides my father, everyone else still thinks this place has 3 fakes and 1 real cave. Cloud Celestial couple? This was the first time Wang Lin had heard this name. The Cloud Celestial couple was famous tens of thousands of years ago. They didn't leave this place like everyone else but decided to cultivate inside their fake cave. That is why apart from very few people, not many people know of them. I only heard of this cultivation couple from my father. When Yarrow Shishua said this, she revealed a trace of envy and melancholy. When she heard about this couple, it was when she was going through her spring. Even now there was still that sliver of a dream deep inside her heart. Thinking about it now, she couldn't help but feel melancholy. Wang Lin pondered a bit, then his eyes suddenly lit up as he stared at Yarrow Shishua and said, your father, the blood ancestor, should be coming soon. After he said that, Yarrow Shishua's heart trembled violently. However, her face revealed a surprised expression and she said, I have no idea what you mean. Her expression was extremely natural and didn't reveal any hints. During these tens of thousands of years, the demon spirit land has been opened countless times. I have no idea how many times you have come here, but with the blood ancestor's ability, it shouldn't be hard to extend your life. With that in mind, this just happens to be the time you must enter the cave, even with the risk of an outsider finding out about it. If there wasn't some secret behind it, I'm afraid you wouldn't be this anxious. I'm afraid that in these tens of thousands of years, your father, the blood ancestor, still couldn't come in due to certain reasons. That is why you came. You were very anxious to obtain the right to enter the cave. I believe you were preparing for your father's arrival. Wang Lin's voice was very calm and deep as he slowly said everything. Yarrow Shishua looked at Wang Lin for a very long time. Then she smiled and nodded, you are very smart. That is right, my father will be here very soon. In fact, not only my father, I'm afraid your teacher, the All-Seer, the Da Lu Sword Sect's Ling Tianhu, and various old monsters of planet Tianyun will all be coming here soon. Wang Lin's eyes closed, leaving only a sliver of space open as he slowly said, is this because of that golden token that appeared during the tide? Yarrow Shishua's gaze toward Wang Lin revealed a glimmer of shock. It wasn't until now that she truly understood how terrifying Wang Lin was. This person is simply too cunning. Although his questions seem simple, as soon as I answer, I have already fallen into his calculations. Step by step I unknowingly allowed his person to gain control of a lot of information. As a result, if I were to lie, he would immediately be able to detect it due to all the information he has. This person is too terrifying. Yarrow Shishua didn't know that thanks to Wang Lin's cultivation of restrictions, the deducting happening inside his mind was 10 times, 100 times more complex. His conversation with Yarrow Shishua really couldn't be considered much. Wang Lin wasn't afraid of Yarrow Shishua speaking. As long as she spoke, he had ways of extracting information from her. What he was afraid of was Yarrow Shishua not speaking, like before. Yarrow Shishua lowered her head. She subconsciously avoided Wang Lin's eyes and said, "That token is known as Qing Lin's celestial token. It is the key that opens the door in the fake cave toward the real cave. One can only enter once they have the key. However, opening the door to the real cave requires all 4 tokens to open all 4 fake caves at the same time. Not a single one can be missing." Wang Lin asked, "According to you, the All-Seer and them still believe that 3 tokens are all they need? Only your father, the blood ancestor, knows that 3 tokens isn't enough to open up the door to the real cave. Is that the case?" Yarrow Shishua pondered a bit and nodded. The blood ancestor sure is cunning. As long as he holds the fake cave, even if he doesn't have a token, he still holds the initiative. As long as he manages it properly, once that 4th token appears, he will naturally have the qualifications to go inside the real cave. Wang Lin pondered a bit before his eyes lit up and he asked, "Where would that token appear after being sucked into this place?" Yarrow Shishua hesitated a bit and said, "The tidal abyss. Its entrance is inside the fire demon country." Wang Lin no longer asked questions. His right hand reached out and Yarrow Shishua was sealed once more. After putting her back inside the bag of holding, he was the only one left inside the tower. His eyes gave off a demonic glow as he muttered to himself, "It turns out that this demon spirit land contained this kind of secret. My cultivation level is far too low compared to these old masters. However, why was the All-Seer so determined on me coming to this demon spirit land?" Wang Lin pondered. The longer he stayed inside the demon spirit land, the stranger everything became. First it was the painting of Huang Long. Then it was the 2 Mo Feis that looked exactly the same. Finally it was the large man who looked extremely similar to Ling Tianhu. Wang Lin's eyes flickered and he muttered to himself, "The All-Seer pursues the will of the heavens. For him to insist that I come here, he must have his own motives. Also, when I was on planet Tianyun, Bai Wei once pointed out that a large majority of the All-Seer's disciples past 10,000 years old have disappeared. I just don't know if those seniors' disappearances have to do with this demon spirit land." Wang Lin touched his bag of holding and his eyes became cold. He thought, "As long as I'm strong enough, no matter how strange this place is, it can't affect my Dao heart." Wang Lin closed his eyes and his origin soul continued to engrave his imprint on the scattered devil. He continued to engrave this imprint deeper into the devil's soul, solidifying his control. In addition, as the soul refining tribe grew, more and more people began to cultivate the soul refining spell. Also, this was an ancient battleground, so it contained a lot of soul fragments. Although most of them were hidden deep underground, as more and more people joined the soul refining tribe, people began to dig large holes. Cultivating in these holes became a unique way to cultivate the soul refining spell. This was only one method of cultivating the soul refining spell. The other method was going to the fire demon country to absorb the souls of all the dead demon soldiers. However, only people who had some success in their cultivation were qualified to go. Anyone who wanted to go by themselves had to be personally assessed by Ouyang Hua before being granted permission. The soul refining tribe was growing strong at a very fast pace. This kind of growth couldn't be seen every day. The tribe was like a cocoon that was absorbing nutrients. Once the young butterfly breaks free from the cocoon, it will be able to shock the 9 countries. In the tribe members' minds, the tower at the center was their holy ground. It was something that absolutely couldn't be tainted, as if it was where the gods live. As for Wang Lin, who hadn't come out in 10 years, he was their ancestor, their guardian. Every day, aside from strengthening the imprint on the scattered devil, he created countless restrictions that he placed on the restriction flag. In these past 10 years, Wang Lin continued to deduce more and more restrictions, and he slowly closed in on 9,999 sets of restrictions. The 1 billion soul flag was long ago released by Wang Lin, and the 100 million soul fragments covered the sky above the soul refining tribe. Sounds of soul fragments wailing could be heard all day, and this became a unique symbol of the soul refining tribe. Wang Lin also spent a lot of time studying the 5 seals on the god-slaying war chariot. When Wang Lin was only at the mid-stage of soul transformation, he could barely release the first seal. Now that he was at the ascendant stage, he could comfortably activate the first seal. However, this wasn't enough for Wang Lin. He wanted to be able to release the second seal. After the first seal was released, this god-slaying war chariot could threaten peak late-stage soul transformation cultivators. As for the second seal, Wang Lin merely scanned it with his divine sense, and that immediately caused strands of lightning to appear. They chased after his divine sense and actually followed him outside the seal. Wang Lin was already prepared. He activated the celestial spiritual energy inside his body and took several breaths of time to completely erase the lightning. Through the lightning, Wang Lin could judge that once the second seal was removed, the beast would become extremely powerful. Also, it was likely that the second seal was sealing the spirit beast's lightning power. It has to be said that this god-slaying chariot came from the celestial realm. The creator said that they were all very powerful weapons. Although the name god-slaying seems arrogant, after spending hundreds of years with it, even though Wang Lin didn't completely believe in its power, he believed 30% of it. Wang Lin's interest for this second seal increased greatly when he found out that the beast would gain the power of lightning. The wind, rain, thunder, and lightning spell the old man under the black tower used was very powerful. Every time Wang Lin thought about it, his heart would tremble. The most powerful part of that spell was the black lightning. Without it, the power of that spell would be weakened greatly. Wang Lin was confident in opening the second seal. However, after analyzing the lightning, he found out that once he opened the second seal, the beast trap would collapse due to the beast's strength. The beast trap was given to him by an ancient cultivator under 2 Sai as payment for helping them. This item had been very helpful to Wang Lin in these several hundred years, especially when it came to the god-slaying war chariot. It allowed Wang Lin to still use the god-slaying war chariot when his cultivation level wasn't high enough. But now that Wang Lin's cultivation level had increased and more of the seals were opened, this item was no longer able to control the spirit beast. Wang Lin pondered for a bit before he slapped his bag of holding and the beast trap flew out before him. The bracelet had countless ancient symbols and carvings of ancient beasts. There were also a few subtle cracks left behind by the beast's first backlash. Looking at the beast trap, Wang Lin's eyes showed hesitation. Without the help of this beast trap, Wang Lin must use his own strength to completely subdue the spirit beast. He must follow the method left behind by its creator to complete the inheritance, or else this treasure will be useless. Wang Lin revealed a decisive look as he grabbed the beast trap and stood up. He disappeared from within the tower and reappeared 5,000 kilometers from the soul refining tribe. This place was a plain and was completely deserted. Wang Lin threw the bracelet on the ground before forming a seal and pointing at it. The bracelet gave off a black light before turning into the god-slaying war chariot. The ferocious war chariot covered in thorns appeared and gave off a powerful light. At the same time the spirit beast appeared. Its 1,000-foot-tall body was like a small mountain. Its red eyes fiercely stared at Wang Lin the moment it appeared. It let out an unyielding roar that shook heaven and earth. As it roared, it suddenly charged toward Wang Lin. It was as if a small mountain was crashing toward him, and sounds of space tearing could be heard. Wang Lin's expression was neutral as his right hand casually pushed forward. It was as if a giant hand had descended from the sky. After a thunderous roar, the spirit beast's large body was pressed against the ground. Dust was kicked up and spread out in a ring, and the entire earth shook. The spirit beast raised its head and its eyes were filled with the intent to struggle. It let out a fierce roar as it stared at Wang Lin, and its unyielding aura exploded forth. Wang Lin calmly looked at the spirit beast. The embark then couldn't contend with this spirit beast at all. However, now he could easily suppress the beast to the point where it couldn't break free. His right hand held the beast down from a distance. Wang Lin bit the tip of his tongue, then he began to slowly draw in the sky and a blood symbol slowly condensed. This symbol was left behind by the creator of the god-slaying war chariot. There was a total of 7 symbols, and once all 7 were placed, it would allow the chariot to truly recognize an owner. However, 2 of these 7 symbols were only supposed to be used once the 4th seal was released. After the blood symbol was complete, Wang Lin flicked it. It then turned into a ray of bloodlight and flew directly at the struggling beast on the ground. The blood symbol fell on the spot between the beast's eyebrows. The spirit beast's body suddenly trembled as if it was in a lot of pain. It let out a crazed roar and began to struggle. Wang Lin's eyes flickered and he loosened his right hand. The moment the beast gained its freedom, it immediately stared at Wang Lin. It released a series of roars and the unyielding nature in its eyes became even stronger. Wang Lin coldly looked at the spirit beast and then formed a seal. A black light appeared from the seal his hand made and he shouted, "First seal, open." The black light flew out along with the symbol and landed on the spirit beast. There was sound of crackling and then a powerful aura suddenly emerged from its body. At this instant, the spirit beast stood up. It opened its bloody mouth that seemed like it could devour the world and rushed toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's body didn't move as he moved his right hand once more and waved it. This created a gust of wind which formed into a palm and smashed toward the beast. There was a loud bang as the beast's large mouth was shattered from the impact. The beast immediately backed up. As it backed up, its body turned into strands of black gas that scattered in all directions and charged at Wang Lin like crazy. Both of Wang Lin's hands began to draw in the empty air and then two blood symbols appeared in them. At this moment, almost all of the black light entered Wang Lin's body and rushed toward his origin soul. Wang Lin revealed a sneer and there was a flash of golden light coming out of his eyes. "Origin soul, leave." Wang Lin let out a roar and his eyes dimmed. Then his origin soul flew out. The spirit beast was held by the neck by his origin soul. The two blood symbols quickly flew over and were grabbed by Wang Lin's origin soul's left hand. Then he pressed both symbols down between the spirit beast's eyebrows. The spirit beast's body trembled and then an even more powerful aura rushed forth. This time it unexpectedly was able to break free from Wang Lin's origin soul. Wang Lin's origin soul returned to his body. His eyes opened and he looked at the beast. At this moment, somewhere countless kilometers away from Wang Lin, at the border between the Fire Demon Country and the Golden Demon Country. This place was a large mountain range. A miasma filled this mountain range all year round, so it was a place neither demon country managed. There was a white city deep within the miasma. To be more accurate, it was only a castle that was surrounded by 100-foot-tall white, stone walls. The inside of the castle gave off a mysterious feeling. At this moment a black shadow quickly flew within the miasma. While floating in the air, the black shadow kneeled down on one knee and respectfully said, "Greetings, ancestor. I have found the location of Wang Lin, who disappeared from the Sky Demon Country capital 20 years ago." There was silence from the castle for a while before an eerie voice came out. "What is his current cultivation level?" The black shadow hesitated for a bit and said, This subordinate didn't find out because the team sent to capture this person back then was killed, so no news were sent back. However, subordinate knows that this person has been appointed as the Ancient Demon's messenger." Ancient Demon's messenger. Haha, someone that this old man has set his eyes on is indeed not ordinary. Dispatch 3 units. Bring a celestial guard as well. Capture this person alive. The black shadow quickly acknowledged the order and disappeared. Inside the castle, a small old man muttered, "If this Wang Lin is properly trained, he could become another celestial guard for me. No matter how high his cultivation level is, as long as he hasn't reached the ascendant stage, then the celestial guard can capture him without any problem." Wang Lin's eyes stared at the spirit beast. After the third blood symbol was imprinted on the spirit beast, the aura it gave off even terrified Wang Lin. The beast's body trembled violently, and the red light inside its eyes became even stronger. The red light was so strong that it extended 3 inches from its eyes. Wang Lin calmly looked at the beast. Although he looked calm, his eyes were flickering. The jade with instructions on releasing the seals on the beast talked about this before. A majority of the power of the god-slaying war chariot was in the spirit beast. Every one of the 7 origin soul blood seals could stimulate the beast to evolve. If the seals were not released when that simulation reached its peak, then the spirit beast would explode and die. However, if the seal was released early, the beast's evolution would be interrupted and it wouldn't be able to reach its peak power in the future. In truth, none of the 3 god-slaying war chariots were used before the Maker died. According to his original plan, The 3 god-slaying war chariots would become perfect after being activated once. That's why he had to release the seal once its evolution reached its peak. Only then could the power of the god-slaying war chariot match its name. According to the maker's original plan, he was going to gather all of the materials and then find someone at the Celestial Emperor level to help activate them for the first time. This would ensure that there wouldn't be any regrets with any of the war chariots. In the Jade, he even claimed that not even someone at the level of a Celestial Emperor could allow the 3rd war chariot to be activated perfectly. The spirit beast continued to shrink and the aura inside its body became even more terrifying. Originally there was wind in the plains, but now it was as if the wind didn't dare to come. The sky gradually grew dark, and it was no longer clear like it was before. Countless grains of sand were trembling on the ground as if there was some mysterious force shaking them. Wang Lin's eyes lit up like a torch. The aura of the spirit beast before him had already surpassed the strength of an early-stage ascendant cultivator. It gradually reached the mid-stage of ascendant and continued to rise. After several breaths of time, the body of the beast shrank from 1,000 feet to 100 feet tall. However, the red light from its eyes were now nearly 7 feet out of its eyes, and a silky fog surrounded its eyes. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed, then his hand formed a seal and black light appeared in his palm. His eyes were like lightning as he stared at the spirit beast. Just at this moment, the red light from the beast's eyes suddenly retracted. Suddenly, a powerful and nearly frenzied destructive aura suddenly began to increase inside its body. This increase was simply too quick. It was as if there was a rapidly inflating sphere inside the beast's body. Wang Lin's eyes were filled with deduction as he carefully watched the beast. He pointed at the beast and shouted, "Second seal, open." The black light flew out, and at the moment the beast's aura reached its peak, it landed on the beast's body. After an instant, the beast stopped trembling and the destructive aura stabilized around its body. It then raised its head and let out a roar at the sky. Thunderous roars suddenly came from the sky and bolts of lightning descended. This wasn't a divine retribution, it was created by this beast. The lightning descended from the sky and landed on the spirit beast's body. The successive lightning bolts linked together, forming a line. The spirit beast's body was surrounded in a sphere of lightning. It was standing, but it gradually lied down and soon it turned into a Chileen-like beast. However, it wasn't a Chileen, but a beast even more rare than Chileen in the celestial realm, a thunder beast. A silver horn slowly drilled out from its head under the effects of the lightning. Wang Lin's eyes revealed a hint of disappointment when he saw the silver horn. He let out a sigh and then moved forward. As his hand drew in the air, the 4th blood symbol was complete. He grabbed the blood symbol and headed straight for the thunder beast. According to the Jade, if the 2nd seal on the 2nd war chariot is activated perfectly, a golden horn should appear. He immediately closed in on the thunder beast, charged directly through the lightning, and directly pressed the blood symbol between the spirit beast's eyebrows. The timing he picked was the one the Jade mentioned. The moment that the spirit beast evolves into a thunder beast was the only moment for imprinting in its life. This moment was specifically left behind by the maker to place an imprint on the beast. The blood symbol imprinted between the beast's eyebrows. At the moment it landed, there was a flash of golden light. Wang Lin was startled, but when he looked closer, there was no longer any golden light. After the 4th blood symbol was imprinted, the thunder beast no longer looked at Wang Lin with a hostile gaze. However, there was no kindness either. After it looked at Wang Lin, it disappeared back into the god-slaying war chariot. Wang Lin's right hand reached out and the god-slaying war chariot was placed back into his bag of holding. His eyes lit up and he thought, that golden flash can't be my eyes going bad, but why did it happen? Even if it is a silver horn, it is still strong enough to deal with mid-stage ascendant cultivators. Although the natives here are easy to deal with, how is any cultivator who has reached the mid-stage of ascendant simple? They either have powerful spells, or amazing treasures, or both. As a result, although I won't dare to say I can win against any mid-stage ascendant cultivator with my early-stage ascendant cultivation, it is impossible for them to kill me, and if I meet a mid-stage ascendant cultivator with spells and treasures weaker than mine, I'll be able to kill them. As for late-stage ascendant cultivators, simply too difficult. Wang Lin let out a sigh. Whether it's Zhu Qzi or that black-robed old man, both of them have reached the late stage of Ascendant. Even if I use the Thunder Beast, I'm afraid I won't be able to resist against a late-stage Ascendant cultivator's power. Fortunately, I have Ling Tianho's sword energy, so if I really encounter one, I have nothing to fear. Wang Lin took a step forward and teleported back into the tower. The reason why late-stage Ascendant cultivators are so powerful is because they are already at the end of the first step. Especially peak-stage late-stage Ascendant cultivators, they can be considered the peak of those at the first step. Only people with similar cultivation levels can match them in battle. They are not people mid-stage Ascendant cultivators can resist at all. That is, unless they have an extremely heaven-defying treasure, like Ling Tianho's sword energy, or the fourth soul from the 1 billion soul flag. Even then, that fourth soul was still captured by Zhu Qzi, and teacher Dun Tian still died. Back then the old man under the Devil Tower said that the wind, rain, thunder, and lightning spell was his weakest spell. That shouldn't be false. Wang Lin sat in the lotus position in the tower as he pondered. If I have more than 1 million strands of slaughter energy, the 1 billion soul flag, the god-slaying war chariot, and the underworld river, can I beat a late-stage Ascendant cultivator? Wang Lin silently pondered. No confidence. However, with Ling Tianho's sword energy, if a late-stage Ascendant cultivator really provokes me, I will have no choice but to use one of the sword energies. Wang Lin's eye became cold. Now I will need to properly refine the 3 swords I got from the 12 swords. These 3 swords were wasted on their previous owners. I studied them once before, and it seems like there is another ability hidden within them. However, this ability requires a combined attack to activate. Wang Lin slapped his bag of holding and the 3 swords from Mo Yang, Zishu, and Haizhu flew out. These 3 swords gave off a fierce spiritual aura. Wang Lin spat out a mouthful of origin energy which turned into a green mist that surrounded the 3 swords. He then closed his eyes and concentrated on refining them. In the blink of an eye, 3 months passed. On this day, several rays of light appeared in the sky 50,000 kilometers away from the soul refining tribe. Their target was clearly the soul refining tribe. Among these people there was one person wearing golden clothes that gave off a golden glow. This person didn't look that old, and his face gave of a sense of cold arrogance. There was one person following him. This person was a youth who wore clothes as white as snow. He was handsome, but his face was currently filled with bitterness. He looked at the soul refining tribe with hesitation hidden in his eyes. The golden-clothed man looked at the youth and coldly snorted. "What are you thinking about, Sun Yunshan?" The white-robed youth was the person who came to the demon spirit land with Wang Lin. The junior sect master of the Shen Yuan sect, Sun Yunshan. When he entered the demon spirit land, he had several high cultivation level elders protecting him. However, now he was by himself. After hearing the golden-clothed man's words, Sun Yunshan's body trembled and he respectfully said, "Sir, this subordinate." Before he finished, the golden-clothed man interrupted him and coldly snorted. "No need to explain. Since you joined my cultivation union, you must obey all orders. If it wasn't for me giving your sister face, do you think you would be part of such a good opportunity to obtain merit, like capturing Wang Lin?" Sun Yunshan remained silent and nodded. He thought to himself, I don't know if the Wang Lin in this soul refining tribe, and Wang Lin from the Heavenly Fate sect are the same person. I'm thinking too much. There is no way they are the same person. The ancestor even deliberately sent out a celestial guard to capture this Wang Lin. There is no danger in this trip, but you must be careful and not let that Wang Lin escape. After the golden-clothed man finished speaking, his gaze turned to the middle-aged man in black at the back of the group. This man was ordinary and his expression had been calm this entire time. It was as if nothing in this world could cause his expression to change. A string of fine ripples slowly spread out from his body and seemed to fuse with the surroundings. His aura had almost completely disappeared. Ordinary cultivators wouldn't be able to detect his existence at all. To be able to melt with the heavens and earth and fuse with the void meant that this person's cultivation had reached the early stage of ascendant. However, this person's ascendant cultivation was a bit strange, There was no origin energy inside this person's origin soul. Wang Lin was sitting in the lotus position inside the tower when he suddenly opened his eyes. A bright burst of light released from his eyes. 13. We have guests. Bring them here. This video will end here.